Hey guys, welcome back.
Hey,
Mike at Midnight here with Guersan's Gaming. Come
hello.
on, take G
Oh,
G.
you did my presentation. I don't need to say it again.
No, you know what? Yes, you do. You gorgeous Canadian motherfucker. I mean, what? I don't know where that's coming from. I have no idea what that's all about. I have no idea. No idea. Guys, we are here for some No Mercy predictions, like we did with SummerSlam. Obviously, we don't have a 4-hour card to go through this time around, so
Yeah. You guys liked it last time, so we said we were going to do it again. So now is the next pay-per-view.
absolutely. All right, so let's get down to brass tacks. Of course, it's the match everybody's looking forward to: Neville versus Enzo Amore for the Cruiserweight Championship.
Oh, yeah. Definitely the one you don't want to go pee during the match.
Not at all. It's gonna be a 7-star Dave Meltzer classic. Okay,
Yeah.
it's gonna kick out Okada and Omega for everything.
Yeah, especially since we've never seen it before.
I will say, to their credit, yes, it is something we've never seen before. On the flip side, is it something we want to see? Obviously, Enzo can't hang with the cruiserweights.
No.
That much is very
Well, he
apparent.
can't wrestle. He can. I mean, his only job left is as a manager.
And you know what? He could very well be one of the greatest managers in the vein of the late and great Bobby the Brain Heenan,
Yeah.
R.I.P. with his family. But no, there's no way Enzo's coming out on top of this. Not unless they plan on completely revamping 205 Live. You know.
He's a jobber now.
So he's gonna chase it. Here's what I'm gonna say. He's gonna win it at some point, but he ain't gonna win it tonight.
No.
At Sunday, it's not gonna happen.
No.
So Neville will retain, and then hopefully they will put somebody else in that spot. Enzo will have to work his way back up the ladder. That's the hope and goal, you know.
Yeah, I mean, even if they sent back Enzo in NXT, he wouldn't be the caliber to be the champion.
No. Even for a middleweight belt, he's just his skills are not there. He works strictly on the mic, and he needs to start learning from Paul Heyman to be that next guy. You know.
Yeah. Yeah. Well, he's great on the mic, but he's always the same on the mic.
But unfortunately, that's WWE style lately.
Yeah.
Most everybody's the same on the mic.
It's always the same thing. Always the same intro, the same kind of rhetorics.
Look at
even against the Miz, it sucked.
Yeah,
and it's two guys that are like the best on Raw on the mic,
and Miz
sucked.
It was Miz tearing into him. Was what that was. You know,
Yeah.
there was that's all that was. That was just Miz giving it to him. That was airing public dirty laundry. That's what that was.
I mean, the best time Enzo's on camera is when he's being manhandled like a ragdoll. That's the only thing he's good for.
Bro!
Being a big guy ragdoll.
Ran over him.
I never see him in a match and say, he stand a chance.
So obviously, I think I'm going with Neville.
Yeah, me too.
You're going with Neville. Yeah. All right, let's move on to the match that just got changed up a little bit last night with a strangely early returning Bayley. I think early.
Yeah,
right?
Way early.
So
they said like 6 months, and it's been what, 2 months?
Exactly. Like she must have some John Cena blood or something, man.
Yeah, that or they're gonna injure her again.
So, fatal 5-way for the women's title: Bliss, Emma, Nia Jax, Sasha Banks, Bayley.
It's gotta be Emma for sure.
I would say that, except for here's what and in all seriousness, they've already announced Asuka for the Raw Women's division.
Yeah, so she's gonna win it.
It's got to be Nia. Nia's got to win it because it becomes who's gonna take down the big bad Nia Jax, you know?
Yeah.
And their only option there is the only person who's A, beaten her before, and B, is completely undefeated. The big bad Asuka.
Yeah, because we know that she's gonna rule. I mean, Raw is definitely the brand with the less star power or good wrestler on the women's side.
Exactly.
The roster is terrible compared to SmackDown. You basically have Bliss and Banks, and that's about it. I mean, even Nia Jax really sucks.
She does.
She's big, strong, powerful, but she's like slow, and she basically just walks around and
she works a
Manendo.
she works a big style. That's how it is.
Yeah.
Emma, I've seen Emma's old stuff with like Paige, and Emma's not bad. Just Emma's not being booked and utilized properly.
Yeah.
It's
Yeah,
one of those
she's
things.
got a terrible gimmick. That lipstick doesn't work for her
Yeah, no,
whatsoever.
and that's the thing is,
It
unfortunately,
looks
she's also
ridiculous,
she's
and she
starting.
doesn't really have a gimmick. She's just always there, being the outside one, just thrown in to get her ass kicked.
And the biggest problem with Emma though is I feel like she's going to end up going down the path of like Dolph Ziggler and guys like that where they're labeled injury prone. She's gotten injured too many times, and now they're worried about doing anything with her because if they do anything with her and then she gets injured, now every plan has gone out the window.
Yeah.
That sucks. That is the worst for guys like that who get labeled that, you know?
Yeah, but
And
she doesn't look like she's gonna stay. I mean, she's got that forgettable face and gimmick, and it's one that if they stop putting her on TV, nobody's gonna even remember she used to be.
it's like, does anybody even remember that? At this point, too, if without exposure it doesn't work, does anybody even remember that Mickey James is on the Raw roster?
No.
I do. I do, but I'm sitting here every week going, well, you got a legend on your damn roster. Why aren't you utilizing her?
Yeah, I'm pretty sure it's because they think she's too old now.
I'm hoping that's not the case because that's freaking wrong, you know?
Oh, how old is she? Like 38, something like that? That's my age.
Yeah, but come on. Rick was wrestling well into his 60s, and Shawn, even at his age, was still putting on great matches.
Yeah.
So it depends on your conditioning. But
Well, she had a decent match a couple of weeks ago, which was the last time we saw her
exactly.
when she returned and left.
And they keep doing that. And if you keep doing stop booking like that, you've got 3 hours, and you're telling me you can't put her on at some point.
Yeah.
You know?
Especially when the 5 others on the roster are.
Exactly. Exactly. So
Interfere?
I'm I'm going with Nia on this one. I say Nia wins it, and Nia's
Yeah.
going to hold it till Asuka gets there.
I'd say either she wins it or Bliss is gonna retain it just because they don't want to have a new champion for a month or two.
No, I agree. That makes sense.
Because if they give it to Nia, well, in a month she's losing it. How good of a champion is she gonna be?
Well, here's what I'm going to say. Well, because is it a month? Is Asuka coming in a month or 2 months?
In October, I heard.
October. Oh, you know what? I'm still going with my theory though. Still going with it.
It would make sense. I mean, the only way that I see Nia losing is if they all team on her.
Yeah,
Because otherwise, she's just gonna wipe the floor with all of them.
exactly.
They don't stand a chance, and it kind of sucks. Like I don't know. Did you watch the Mae Young Classic?
I hate to admit that I have not yet. I do want to at least watch the finals.
Okay, because there's another big girl in there, Piper. She's called.
Uh huh.
She's about the size of Nia. She is damn impressive.
And
She rocked it.
you
she
hate
did she did freaking moonsaults.
you hate
And she's
hearing
like
stuff like
300
that
pounds.
because you sit there and go, well, is Nia only getting pushed because she's got lineage, you know? Because she's related to the
Rock.
Anoa'i family, you know? Yeah,
And
but
she's a big powerhouse, but the problem with a girl like that is if you don't have another one, who's she gonna fight with?
exactly.
No, like against Bliss, I mean, really? I'm supposed to think Bliss has a chance?
But
If
that's
at least he was on the other side, like Tamara, is much smaller, but still at least bigger than the other girls, so would technically have a better chance. But there's only one big girl on Raw. She doesn't stand a chance, but apparently they're on the way of signing maybe Piper that was on the Mae Young Classic.
that'd be cool. That'd be cool.
It was damn good, the Mae Young Classic.
No, I know. I want to, like I said, at least watch the final just because I want to see Sane, you know,
Yeah.
hit
Yeah,
the elbow drop.
Yeah. She's got a pretty impressive elbows.
So,
She did it in all her matches, and damn.
all right.
Stormy was Dame Nash in the Mae Young Classic also. She looks like she has a lot of potential, but she hasn't signed up yet.
Well,
She's 21, so
we'll
they
see what
may be
happens.
waiting for older.
All right, let's move.
That's another show.
All right, let's move on to the Intercontinental title match, which we just found out on Monday what we were getting there, and that is Miz versus Jason Jordan.
Yeah.
I think it's too soon for Jordan.
I would think so, but they're really pushing him really hard. So he's basically losing all his matches now, but it's all a way too high profile match for his profile, and the Miz has had the belt for too long.
Mm.
So I got a feeling that the only reason they're pushing him so hard is because they're actually planning on making something with him. Because why the hell would you put him against Cena, against Roman Reigns? I mean, it's not the kind of guy you should be fighting with unless you're really trying to push him down our throat that he's supposed to be a top guy.
I agree with that. But here's the other side of the coin. A, WWE loves records. They love numbers more than Vince loves numbers. And Miz just surpassed the mark for being the third longest reigning Intercontinental Champion in terms of overall days as champion combined. They may try to, see how far they can go with that.
The longest because he never defends it.
No,
he just do promos.
That was Dean Ambrose with the U.S. title. Okay,
Yeah.
That guy went like 300 some odd days because he never did anything with it. The other thing with Jordan is I think they're trying to work like the Cena initial angle there, where Cena came in, fought a bunch of guys, kind of high profile matches, and he was getting rep and he was, shaking hands and getting his hand held up, saying, this guy, he put on a good match, I think that's what we're doing, and obviously he's going to cheat to win, I think Miz is going to cheat to win. He's going to use the Miz to rock. It's going to end up
one again.
Yeah, it's going to end up in some sort of match where the Miztourage will be banned and Jordan will finally have an opportunity to actually upend Miz, but I don't think it's happening at this pay-per-view.
Yeah. I think Jordan's gonna get it this time.
I'm going with Miz.
That's my gut feeling. It wouldn't make sense for him to get it because I'm sure Miz is basically the Jinder Mahal of Raw. He can't ever be on his own.
No. Well, here's what I will say about The Miz. The Miz is one of those guys who has gotten to the top, fallen back down, and still maintains a level pace. If The Miz had been anybody else, if he had been somebody with less drive, he would have been fired a year after he would stop being WWE champion, Yeah. I give all the credit in the world to The Miz because he kept trying, he kept working, he never gave up. To not sound like John Cena here. He never gave up, and the fact that, okay, corporate says you're going to do this, and he went, all right, fine, I'll do it, and I will do it the best I possibly can. Well, but I think a lot of what they've been doing lately is trying to help The Miz as far as making him a solid, almost like a Rick Rude, Mr. Perfect-esque Intercontinental Champion. They're trying again to add that prestige to the Intercontinental title, and The Miz is trying so hard to make that belt worth something. I don't think losing it to Jordan right now is going to help the belt. I think losing it in the future, not too far in the future. I say again, maybe the next pay-per-view, but I don't think it's going to be at this
defending
one.
It. I mean, he's got to defend it at some point. Otherwise, it's a pointless belt.
So he did against Hardy a couple of weeks ago. But that's the other thing too, is like, and I'm going to go into that with the tag team title division, is like, what are we doing with Matt and Jeff at this point too? Are they going to break up and go into singles, or,
Yeah,
it
right
becomes,
now they're being used to push over other teams.
It becomes, and then Elias is in this picture
other
too.
40-somethings.
So it becomes, does Jason take it yet, or does Jason take it a little bit later down the line when guys like Elias are a little more established, and then, go into those kind of feuds?
Elias has pretty good matches.
I will say this. In NXT, I was not an Elias fan. Again, he doesn't bring so much to the table that I sit there and go, oh my God, I have to watch everything he does. I will say that the way he's managed to get this drifter gimmick over has been awesome. I also don't think it would have worked nearly as well if Corey Graves wasn't on commentary constantly berating him.
I think it'd go even better if they made him a face with those songs. Because the way they're doing it right now, it's the same thing every week.
Oh, yeah.
We know he's going to be dissing the city, and we know that he's going to act surprised that after 3 verses, he's going to get interrupted. That's what happens every week.
Exactly. Well, you know what? Sometimes those are the best heels, though, the thing that they do, and they, every week it's the same thing. Once you learn how to play with that, look at the New Day. They did the same thing. They came out, they were, would say stupid stuff, but once they learned how to play with it, and that's the thing too. Again, Elias does have a gimmick where you can definitely turn him face at some point. All he has to do is just say nice things about the freaking town, and then get interrupted by bad guys. So, but I want Elias to be a little more established before he, takes on Jordan, because I think that's the next feud. I think it's Jordan and Elias for the Intercontinental title.
I mean, the Elias gimmick would be even better if the songs were about the opponent instead of the fans.
So
I just did the opponent.
You know what? Here's what I will say. They've done a much better job of fleshing him out on the main roster than they did in NXT. Give them a little more time, and I think Elias might actually be something good. So
he's got a lot of potential, and he's actually good at singing.
Exactly. He's one of those rare cases who's doing better on the main roster than he ever did in NXT.
Yeah.
Work with it, run with it if it's working, man. So next, this one. I feel like we're in a bit of a deja vu situation here. Balor versus Wyatt.
Well, Balor won the last one, so this one's going to go to Wyatt.
And that's the thing, is they're playing the whole, only a man thing and all that. And
they haven't announced Balor as Demon Balor, just Balor.
No, well, that's the whole point. That's the whole gimmick of this one. He's not allowed to be the demon in this one. So, but at the same time, I'm sitting there going, okay, so you got beat as the demon. So now the only thing that makes sense is he's got to beat you as the man to finish this damn feud. Just end it, please. Move on, both of you.
I heard that they're currently repackaging Luke Harper.
Yes, that's what I heard. Him and Rowan
could be interfering in this one if he's ready for it. I don't know when he's going to be ready, but they're repackaging him with a new gimmick.
The sound of it though is that him and Rowan are both being repackaged, and it's going to be a complete erasure of the Wyatt family. That's the whole point. They don't want any more Wyatt family going on, because especially since there's not going to be any chance of a full-blown Wyatt family reunion, seeing as Strowman has now become his own, monster. Again, no pun intended here. He is above the Wyatt family at this point.
I'm never a big fan of the repackaging, because it's always hard. Like, we know it's Harper.
Yeah.
I mean, unless he has a mask and we don't know what it looks, or even if they shave him face and head, we know it's Harper. So if you give him another name,
I don't think they're going to change his name. It's just he's probably not going to wrestle in the tank top and the blue jeans anymore. That's the thing. Honestly, if you ever watched Harper wrestle on the Indies, that's what he wrestled in anyway. So that's a tough call. When he was what? Crap, now I can't remember what his indie name was. Brody Lee. Yeah.
They could put him in like a big cast, like little speedos with the waist above the navel.
Dude, that would be weird.
I can't stand cast uniform. Like, the waist is way too high for that kind of pants. It's like he's getting a wedgie.
Have you ever seen the picture of Big Cass doing his entrance, and the camera caught his Titantron right as he's lifting his hand and everything, so his body blocks out the C in Big Cass, so it's just big ass. Go find it. It's a good one. Okay, so I'm saying Balor wins this to end the damn feud, especially since Reverse Momentum says that Balor's going to win, since Wyatt won so, handedly on Raw against Goldust. I'm sorry, Dustin Reynolds. Dustin Rhodes.
Yeah, they're giving a last run to Goldust as himself, to retire as himself, since he hated the Goldust gimmick from the get-go, and he had to do it for 20 years.
I will say, if they actually are doing that, I'm down. I would love to see Goldust go one more run with some sort of middleweight belt, give him the Intercontinental title, something like that. But give him one more run as Dustin. I'm down with that,
Just so he can retire as what he always wanted to play.
The surprising part is that the man, for his age, can still freaking go, He's surprisingly good for somebody as old as he is.
Yeah.
Um, but yeah. So I'm going with
It's
Balor
just
on
weird
this
to
one.
see him without the face paint.
You know what? I used to watch WCW as a kid, so it's not so weird. It's just he's got one of them faces, you know.
Yeah,
But yeah, no. I'm like I said, I'm going with Balor. What are you calling?
I think Bray just because Balor got the last one.
Okay. Next tag team title match. This is a weird one.
Too early to get it off Rollins and Ambrose.
Exactly, but again, they're defending against the Bar here, which is the only feasible team to take it from them. I say this has got to end with some the club interfering. That's the only thing that makes sense.
Yeah,
Especially how entwined Gallows and Anderson have been in this feud. The fact that they're not even in the match
or
baffles
in
me.
the pay-per-view.
Exactly. So I'm thinking Gallows and Anderson have got to interfere.
Cause a DQ and no
Yes,
title move.
and causing Sheamus and Cesaro the victory so that they get one more match, but this time they also insert Gallows and Anderson in a triple threat for the next pay per view.
Or they actually start Gallows and
Anderson.
Anderson against Cesaro and Sheamus, so that they actually move on to another feud.
I wouldn't mind that, but that would also mean turning one of the teams face. And I don't know how that's going to work for either of those teams. I don't think we're ready to embrace Sheamus and Cesaro as faces yet. Give them a little more time. But the other thing is, you have 4 tag teams on Raw at this point. You've got 4.
Pretty much.
I mean, can anybody think of anybody else? Anybody else? I got nothing.
Unless they make up new ones.
It's like SmackDown's got like 6 teams. What?
Like Cena and Reigns
I
together.
think Slater and Rhino are the only other team.
Yeah.
Unless you want to start bringing Southpaw guys in.
The main issue with Raw is they need to get rid of the old jobbers, like nowadays Goldust and the Hardys, for instance, and bring in new blood. I mean, you got a 3-hour show and a really small roster of people you're putting on.
And the problem is, they did bring in new blood, and that new blood unfortunately kept getting injured in the revival. That's the problem. The revival is obviously supposed to have some sort of play in all this at this point, and they kept getting injured.
Yeah, I never was a big fan of them. They just seem to like they're the kind of guy. If you play a wrestling game, you keep the default guy and you go on. Like there isn't much gimmick or look or whatever. You're playing with default settings, and it's the revival.
My thing is, though, I like guys like Ziggler and guys like Daniel Bryan. There may not be a whole, mess of gimmick, but when it comes back to what's happening in the ropes, they're the guys who are going to give you your freaking show. They're the guys who, at the end of it, you're going to stand up and applaud because you went, "Holy crap, guys!"
But as Ziggler says, though, your entrance and your gimmick is more than half the job nowadays.
Exactly. That's
Nobody's gonna give a shit about your match if you can't get people interested in the match before it starts.
Exactly, and that's what drives me nuts. Is again, what works on NXT doesn't work on the main roster because NXT is this small, close environment. You get to test things out, you get to play with things, and you get smart marks. That's the thing. You get smarks in there. The people who want to see a good match. The problem is when you get up to the next level of huge audiences, now you have to play to everybody. You can't focus on the one little aspect. So it becomes, all right, well, how do we put a team like the Revival in and make them interesting? Well, we haven't had a chance to figure it out yet. Poor bastards keep getting injured.
Well, if they keep getting injured, they're just gonna get rid of them.
Exactly,
and prone by then.
That's what I'm afraid of because those two have worked so hard to establish themselves as one of the better tag teams. I would hate to see them go. It would actually make me very sad. But yeah, I'm going with I'm going with the Bar winning by DQ, not getting the titles, but winning by DQ. Interference from Ambrose or from Gallows and Anderson. That's what I'm calling.
It would make sense. The only thing that wouldn't make sense is for Ambrose and Rollins to lose the belt. It's just too early in the. It would totally just unless like there's too much injuries around and they need them back as single. then maybe break them apart. But otherwise, there's no point. I mean, basically, when they're gonna lose the belt is when they're gonna break up the team,
Yeah, no, that sounds about right. So,
and it's way too early for that.
all right, now for the big two. The big two. I guess we should probably just go into Cena Reigns here now and get this over
Yeah.
with.
Yeah.
I I'm going with one of them actually ends up stabbing the other one because this has gotten so real.
I love the joke that they scripted for Cena to say about the drug test
Oh
for
my
Reigns.
god. I
That
I
was so
honestly
great.
for a second there I
It's
was
like,
like
oh, they went there.
did I thought he went into business for himself at that point. I thought, "Oh, he went off script. There's no way Vince allowed that one, you know?"
Yeah. That was pretty damn funny. I mean,
Oh my god.
it's possibly the best promos that Reigns had with Cena.
Oh, they're his best promos period. He's had
Yeah,
nothing better than this.
yeah, it's definitely great.
Short of his
I mean,
Shield
I don't
promos.
give a shit about their match, but I love watching their interactions before the
Exactly.
matches.
Like I said,
And they
short
actually went. I actually enjoyed the match. They were a tag team. It was a pretty good match.
here's what I'm saying. Here's what I'm thinking. Because that's the thing is Roman claims I've had more great matches than you, John. I sit here and go, Roman, you've only had all the same great matches that John's had with all the same great people, except for John's had better matches with those guys. It's like Roman versus Daniel Bryan, yeah, but Cena versus Bryan was better. Roman versus AJ, yeah, but Cena versus AJ was better. It's like you got nothing, dude. Short of you fought Taker, and that
Yeah,
was a
and
bad match.
like the ticket sales as well. Yeah, yeah, you're pushing it with that. But,
Oh yeah, no, Cena's definitely selling the tickets. There ain't no way nobody's coming in for Roman Reigns. Bull crap.
I think Reigns gonna win just because Cena nowadays is used to push over talents to make them more believable and more popular.
I am going in opposite direction. I think Cena's going to win. And what this is going to lead to is a rematch at WrestleMania, where this match should be happening anyway.
Yeah, I was
Where
about to say
Reigns,
there's a rematch down the line.
where Reigns will then ascend to the top of the throne, and then we will again boo at the end of a WrestleMania, because that's how I see it. This match is going to main event WrestleMania. It's going to still be bad, and the outcome's going to be different, and we're still going to boo the hell out of it, because that will make 4 straight WrestleManias that we've booed the main event result. It's just going to become tradition at this point.
Yeah. Well, if Reigns doesn't win this one, it's because he's winning the next one.
Exactly.
But I know this is not the last we see. I mean, that match was planned for 5 months from now.
Oh yeah, and
They're
that's
doing
the
it
thing too.
early 'cause they don't know who to pit him against.
You can't play the usual Cena method here where, you beat Cena once and then Cena beats you the next 2 times. It doesn't work in this particular situation. He's not an up and comer. He's somebody trying to establish himself as that spot,
Yeah.
Doesn't work the same. Cena's going to win this one. That's where I see it.
All right.
All right. Oh my god.
The only match worth watching.
It better be.
On paper,
I'm
they
almost
can screw it up.
I'm almost disappointed this is not a no disqualification match because it needs to be because chairs need to be thrown.
The shit needs to be destroyed in this match.
Yes, you cannot have these two in a match where things are not going to get broken. Okay, that's the way these two work, and it's great.
And don't be like stupid ambulance and shit unbelievable like that again.
No.
I mean, this time flip the ring over him.
Strowman took up the entire ring post. My God, he's beating him with it.
Like, or the Titantron or something.
Just like strangling each other with the ring rope. It's like...
Now, it'd be pretty nice if they were fighting like on the ramp over there and Strowman sent him in one of those big like turret of, I don't know how you call that, but basically the structure that hold the Titantron, and one of them collapse and the Titantron crashes down. But then how the hell do you make sure they're fine?
Yeah, no,
Yeah. That's for another day.
Because this
Make
is
sure it's a good show now. Then you fix the guys.
because this is a title match. They've not announced a no disqualification rule or anything, so this is going to be a straight wrestling match.
Yeah.
Now,
And nobody's gonna interfere against those two.
no.
Unless maybe Samoa Joe is back from injury, but I don't think he is.
Not yet. I think he's got another month.
Yeah.
Strowman
Otherwise,
has shown,
nobody can go against them.
Yeah.
So
Strowman has
interfere.
Strowman has shown that in a big match situation against a big man, he can actually perform fairly well. His matches with Big Show, I find this weird saying this, but his matches with Big Show have been great. I don't ever say that about a Big Show match, all right?
No.
Lesnar is a guy that definitely plays to Strowman's strengths as far as somebody he can throw around without hurting him too badly. It becomes a war of attrition here. Who's just going to last longer, you know? Yeah. This is a coin flip for me, man. I really don't know where they're going with this. I don't. I feel like if they take the belt off Lesnar now, where do we go with it? But if we don't give Strowman the victory, does that take away his momentum?
A lot, and also, I mean, people are just tired of having Lesnar as a champion because he's never there.
I am. I'm sick of it.
You can't even say he's a part-time wrestler. He's not even there a week out of 2.
So, and when he is, it's to come in. Ooh, bless you.
Sorry.
Take a small bump, you know, or do a freaking interview and by interview I mean he stands there. Paul says a bunch of things for 10 minutes, and then he finally goes Suplex City, bitch.
I mean, last time he did not even do a full match. He was a part-time wrestler for the match as well.
He was. That's so sad.
He's not even part-time on shows. He's part-time for matches.
I get paid by the minute.
He missed half the match.
Oh my god, that's great. I feel like we got to keep the momentum going, especially since there's still people for Strowman to work with that he can beat, and it'll be fine. But Lesnar, if Lesnar keeps beating these guys, it's gonna decrease their legitimacy. Guys like Samoa Joe, guys like Roman Reigns,
Yeah.
I think Strowman's gonna win this one.
He's got to win because, I mean, we know that Brock is not leaving in the next couple months anymore.
Yeah.
Since John Jones got a Roman Reigns syndrome. So we know he's not leaving anytime soon. So, I mean, do we really want him with the belt for another 6 months? I mean, just have him miss 5 and be there 2 weeks in a row in 6 months. That's going to be the same.
Because I don't want him with the belt anymore. I know that much.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'm going with Strowman on this one. I feel like I'm going to be disappointed, but I'm going with Strowman on this one.
The one thing I hate, though, is that I don't know if you got the same advertisements in the U.S., but here in Canada, there's a couple Canadian show that comes after the pay-per-view, and they still advertise Brock Lesnar as the champion defending against Brock. Just like they announced Alexa Bliss as the champion.
Well, the beauty, I will say the beauty of the little fine print card subject to change.
Yeah.
Means anything they say can on a whim. So again, sometimes they put those things out just because those people are already champions and they know those names are going to sell tickets, you know?
And they just know that it's going to be the same people in the match, so it's no big deal if one has the belt over the other. Exactly.
So I'm going with Strowman, regardless of any weird rumors or anything like that, regardless of booking and betting, stuff. Odds and everything. I'm going with Strowman on this one.
It was this time last time, so this time should be it.
So,
I mean, you can't keep pushing the guy to be like one hell of a beast, and then having basically lose all his big profile match.
No, yeah,
give him a win at some point.
Because I will say this, at least with the Fatal 4-Way, somebody else ate the pin. I think Roman ate the pin.
Yeah.
So you protected him there. You can't push Strowman the same way you think you can push Wyatt. His persona is not larger than his win streak, That's the problem they have with Wyatt. They sit there and go, well, we'll play him like we do other monsters like Kane and the Great Khali and guys like that. They're intimidating, they're big, but we just have them lose a lot because it's okay because they're big and intimidating.
Then who you have face Braun though?
It,
The other big guy in NXT, I'm forgetting his name.
Who are we looking at right now? I know there's
Like the one that's almost 7 feet and destroyed one guy. Well, like 3 guys last week.
Yeah. What is his name?
Looks mentally ill.
With the beard and everything,
Yeah.
bald head.
He looks like a meat son of a bitch.
He does. He'll do great on Raw. He'll do great on Raw.
That guy's going to be a face. He's going to need a new one.
But for whatever reason, I can't remember his damn name. Lars.
Yeah. Lars, yeah.
Something.
That guy could give Braun a run for his money.
Oh man, we're gonna get so many corrections on this one. Lars, this guy. Okay. But no, it's like when Joe comes back. Joe would obviously be the first feud with Strowman. Joe can take the loss. Not gonna hurt him.
That'd be a boring feud, though, Strowman and Joe.
I'm not saying it wouldn't be. I'm just saying it's the only thing that makes sense.
Joe's good for his matches. He's a bit too technical for big guys, though. Like he's too big of a guy to be technical and have enjoyable match. So I usually hate his matches. I hate even more his promo and everything leading to the matches.
I've said before that I'm a big Joe fan. I think Joe can adapt his style to work with Strowman, where he can work that big man style versus the technical style. The only difference is that he'll still try to lock in the coquina clutch. It'll be just one of those things like with Lesnar. It'll fail. He'll throw him up into the power slam. Boom. Move on to the next guy. The only problem is, like, how do you work guys like Finn Balor into a program with Braun Strowman, you know?
Yeah, he doesn't stand a chance.
Exactly. It's like, I love him.
So does 90% of the roster. Well, 95% of the roster.
And that's how you know you've booked him correctly. When, you know, nobody stands a chance short of Brock Lesnar, you know, or at the way they're trying to push it, Roman Reigns. Hell, put Cena in a match with him. Have Cena put him over.
But even like a guy like Brock Lesnar, if you have it against Roman Reigns or Cena or whatever, you do think they have a chance. When you look at Braun Strowman, you put anyone beside him and you said the guy's fuck.
Mm-hmm. Like I said, that would be my first thing is have Strowman win.
Take a Kane or Undertaker in their prime, obviously not nowadays.
I would say the first feud, Strowman wins the belt, Cena wins this match, Cena gets #1 contendership to the belt, takes on Strowman, Strowman destroys him. Maybe not as bad as Lesnar did, but still, it's a whooping, and it's one of those ones where Cena has to start questioning everything and go, what am I, man? I just got my butt handed to me in 7 minutes by Braun Strowman in a main event, you know? It's got to be short. It's got to be short, and it's got to be a mugging.
Make a Rusev out of him.
Poor guy. Oh man, I feel bad for him at this point. He's
sending a message. That's the kind of thing you would have expected done to Corbin.
Oh. And you know what? That what makes me angry because now it's coming to light what Corbin did to get his Money in the Bank briefcase taken away and everything. Yeah. Everybody thought it was the Meltzer thing. And they're finding out, no, apparently...
The concussion shit.
Exactly. Which I'm sitting there going, he's in the right. You know? He used to play in the NFL. F you guys.
Yeah, but he shouldn't say stuff like that when they got a major lawsuit going on.
You know?
He's not going to make friends in the back either.
And that's one of the problems with... I will always say that about this company. Because you don't hear this much about any of the other promotions. It's one of those places where you got to know the right people. You got to kiss the right asses. You got, unfortunately, no pun intended here. You got to play the game, okay?
Got to be a friend of Roman Reigns.
You got to be related to The Rock in some way, shape, or form. If you are, you're good. You know, it's one of those things where, you know, those poor guys who have to sit around and walk on eggshells because unless you're 6 foot tall and jacked to the nines, Vince doesn't care about you. Yeah. So if you say one thing wrong,
you're in the doghouse.
You know? Exactly. And the doghouse. That is ridiculous. Any other company in the world, you would have an HR department suing the hell out of everybody for retaliation.
Yeah.
That is the only company in the world of freaking publicly traded company that you could get away with that kind of BS.
Yep.
Because they're independent contractors, and that's wrong. That's freaking wrong.
And they don't really support each other either. I mean, they don't stand together. It's everybody for themselves back there.
And they've tried to. That's the thing. There are multiple times where people have tried to get them to unionize, and Vince is one of the greatest union busters ever, I guess, because nobody's ever done it. It's one of those things where he sits there and goes, "If you guys unionize, I'll fire all of you." And I always felt like, why didn't you guys just do it anyway? Where's he gonna find 50 new talents that quickly who know his style? Yeah. Turn it to New Japan real quickly, all right? But that's a rant for another day. That's a rant for another day.
Well, they were able to find 32 women just like that. So he could find 32 new guys.
Exactly. But you know what? I'll tell you this, like with the Cruiserweight Classic, you watch those matches, you watch the women's the Mae Young Classic, you watch the Cruiserweight Classic, and then you go watch Raw. You tell me what the difference is between them all.
Yeah.
Exactly. Wow, the classic ones, you're getting awesome matches. They're actually happening. And I don't need a backstory because I'm getting a quality match. As for Raw, I'm getting DQ, interference, 5-minute match, squash.
Yeah, and 15-minute Miz promo.
Exactly. So that's the thing, is that's why they can only hire a few of these people who come in, because they're the only ones who could possibly adapt to their style quick enough,
Yeah. It's like what they're doing with the Miz, like Axel and Bo Dallas. I mean, are we supposed to believe that at some point those guys are going to be believable threats against anyone? They're basically they're like the Singh brothers. They're just there to get their ass kicked every week and be entertaining.
You know what they need to do? And that's the thing, is I feel like we don't get enough of this.
They need to backstab the Miz.
No, they don't need to backstab the Miz. They're the ones who need to interfere in the tag team title match. They need, and that's the thing, I feel like we don't go far enough with hardcore interferences. Like, when you really need to make a statement, that's when you guys need to slide in with, like, steel chairs or kendo sticks and lay waste to everybody. And I'll tell you right now, if they did that, and you get to the announcers to the point where they're going, "Oh my God, this is awful. Look, no, stop, make them it's easy. It's easy to make somebody a credible threat. You just got to do it correctly. If they did it, boom, they're already in title contention. Now they're on the tips of everybody's tongues, and now Miz has got some legit backup instead of a comedy act.
Yeah, right now they're just sidekicks.
Exactly. So, but again, conversations for other days. Now that we have successfully predicted No Mercy, Guersan, I believe it is time for me to go have a sandwich.
All right, that sounds like I'll have some cake.
Guys, half of you are already subscribed to him anyway. And, my God, they're going to lose their minds when they find out. They're going to find, well, dude, you've already surpassed me by about 200 subscribers. Congrats. Good job, buddy. They're just going to lose their minds when they find out I'm retiring, Some of them have, figured it out. Some of them have, I keep seeing my numbers, I drop by about 3 or 4 here, come back up, 3 or 4 here, come back up. They're figuring it out.
My numbers are like that.
Exactly.
I mean, there's big variations.
So just remember, whatever the next thing you do what you love, because they're not going to love it. I'd like to say they would, but they're fickle.
Anyway, nobody's doing that for money because nobody's making any.
Oh, but guys, if you are not subscribed to Guersan's Gaming and you like champions and you like wrestling and you mostly like champions, go watch Guersan's Gaming. If you're liking everything else, stay right here. And if you want to support some of our other buddies, WWE Champions Gaming. Mark is a great dude. External Void. He also not only does champions, but does other things too. Headlocks and drop kicks, lots of wrestling related content. He's a pretty awesome dude too. Guys, we got to support each other here because we love this. Won't.
We got to support each other because nobody else will.
Exactly. So, G, Max, thank you for coming on again doing this.
My pleasure. Thanks you.
And thank you for having me, as we host each other.
I try to help the little guys.
Oh. Ooh.
Burn.
Yay! To be fair, we each have our own little guy we're helping out, so we're gonna get him there one day. Actually, yeah, tonight me and Void are gonna be doing some exploding kittens here in probably about 3 hours. So,
Nice.
but I know you'll be asleep. But beyond that, guys, have fun with No Mercy. Enjoy. It's this Sunday. Watch this video. Tell us how wrong we are. Comment, people. Talk to us.
Yeah, let us know what you think, and let us know your prediction, and then we'll see who got the more right. Because if we go by what we did last time, we might have got about half right.
Yeah, well, we had that unexpected speed bump called SmackDown. We didn't have that this time. Next, watch you what? We do the next SmackDown pay-per-view, and we do it before SmackDown, and then we get on, and boom, she's already cashed in her Money in the Bank briefcase and everything. We're like,
yeah, she's got to cash it at some point because it's getting old.
Oh my God, she's got him on a leash and chain, dude. But that's a conversation for another day too. All right, guys, signing off. Peace.
See
Mike
you
out.
guys.
Have a good one, Max.
You do, Joe.